Talmor, Sheshin Morachi. Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming, and death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Burntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I uncover the blasphemous truth of a plague-ridden world, that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Burntwine, coming January 2nd, wherever podcasts are available.
And now, a special edition of the Toddcast podcast.
It's Kitimat, Northern BC, 1981. I'm like 8 years old. I'm young. I'm a little kid. Grade 4. Dr. Hook is coming to play the local hockey arena. And I'd heard these guys throughout my entire life. My mom was always playing that band. Cover of the Rolling Stone. Cover of the Rolling Stone. Sylvia's mother said. And then, freaking at the freakers. Ball all the fags and the dykes. The boogieing together. The leather freaks are dressed in all kinds of leather. Please hit me and I'll hit you. Anyway, I knew those songs backward, forward. I guess I still do today. My mind was blown at the fact when I found out that I was going to see these guys play live. I distinctly remember driving to the arena. We parked, walking to get inside. The air was electric. We played them, of course, on the 8-track. On the drive in, and I was ready for this first concert. And that is what this is all about for this week. First concert experiences. You're going to hear from 12 past guests, and some of these stories are absolute beauties. You're going to love this week. We had a lot of fun putting this one together. As always, coming up in just a little bit, and stop me if you've heard this before. Biff Naked drummer Chico talking about his love for the Vancouver Canucks, and shares a pretty good Brad May story as well. That is powered by Puff. You've known him. You've loved him since 1995, and now you can get 20% off regularly priced cannabis accessories and apparel with the code TODCAST. That's in-store and online at puff.ca. So pass that around, no pun intended, pass that around. Let's keep that code going. First, let's get to a handful of our past musical guests and their first concert stories. It's brought to you by Pineapple Sound, a recording and mixing studio in Langley since 2013. Dave and Tyler, killing it, loving their work with the local scene. Of course, they love working with all the bands as well. Plus, did you know they do podcasts, voiceover actors, anything you can do in a recording studio? Say hey to Dave and Tyler through pineapplesound.com. You're going to know Kristen Flaherty better as K-Flay. She's an 80s baby. The Coles notes, she's born in 85 in Chicago. Her dad passed away at the age of 4 when she was 14. She double majored in psychology and sociology at Stanford University. Today, she's one of the more laid-back performers, like truly effortless in the execution. She's worthy of the Grammy nominations, the hit songs, the crazy collaborations.
This is I don't totally know. I think my first concert was technically a Beach Boys concert, at an outdoor venue. You know what I mean? One of these reunion of the Beach Boys. I have no idea who was in the band.
The only song you remember is Kokomo.
Right.
Where did I see the Beach Boys then?
And I was 8 or something. Yeah. One of the first concerts I bought tickets to was Coldplay.
Oh, wow.
Parachutes, that record is, in my opinion, very good. I love one. And the reason I bought tickets to it was I went to Tower Records. I was in Chicago. I was in the city.
Tower Records, throwback.
I went to Tower Records. It was right before it closed, I guess. And listened to it. I had never heard of Coldplay.
Right, they had those little listening booths
on a listening station, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And they were playing at a venue called the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, which I have now played.
That's 1,000-seater, 1,200.
No, bigger. It's 5,000 capacity. It's pretty big. Yep. And yeah, Granddaddy opened for them. And that was one of the first, I think that was the first show where I was like, hey guys, I want to go see this show. Do you want to come with me? I went to a few other concerts that like other people bought tickets and I just kind of went. Yeah. But that was like the first decision I made.
You wanted to, like, I'm going to this show.
Yeah.
If I said the name Michael Schwartz, it might not mean anything to you, but Mixmaster Mike likely will. Turntables for the Beastie Boys? Mike broke onto the scene after winning the 92 DJ Battle for World Supremacy in New York City. He kept winning championships like over and over, back to back, to the point of being asked to retire from future competition in 1994. It's crazy, right? You're so good at something that the organizers say, hey, could you stop? Just give other people a chance. Of course, you've heard his work on so many other musicians as well, from Ozzy Osbourne to Tommy Lee to Travis Barker, Rob Zombie, Joss Stone. Check out what Mixmaster Mike said about his first concert.
First concert was, George Clinton, P-Funk, Kool and the Gang at the Circle Star Theater in the Bay Area.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's a pretty monstrous show to set the bar first off.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing and inspirational for me. I was 8 years old, so something that stuck with me forever, you know.
And when you're starting to talk about influential rap bands, Run DMC had better be near the top of that list, if not the top. They formed in the early 80s, Queens, New York. This is while LL Cool J, the Beastie Boys, Public Enemy were all in the game, all killing it as well. They were the first group in the genre to have a gold album, the first to be nominated for a Grammy Award, the first to earn a platinum album, the first multi-platinum certification. They were the first to have videos on MTV, the first to appear on American Bandstand, the only hip-hop act at Live Aid 85, inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009. Again, near the top, if not the top. Talk about, talking to a living legend. Daryl McDaniels, DMC, Easy D. His first concert experience where he outlines his first concert. This is cool.
Our first actual book concert was me and Run at the Disco Fever. That was our first concert, and Jam Master Jay missed the show because he was too busy shopping on Jamaica Avenue because he wanted to be so fly at the show. So we actually had another DJ, DJ Starchild from the Bronx. He had the DJ for us. Me and Run, we only had 2 records. It's like that, Circumstance. So our first official concert with us billed as Run DMC was at the Disco Fever, which is one of the most famous, infamous clubs in hip-hop history. And then after that, we did a show. Our first out-of-state show was for a radio station. I forget what station it was, but it was in North Carolina. And we went out there, and when we put on It's Like That Sucker MCs, I say about, I would say maybe 2,000, 3,000 people went totally crazy.
Wow.
Because remember, when we first came out, there was no album. We didn't have an album yet. And there was no video, so nobody knew who Run DMC was. And then right after that, when we started doing real concerts, because It's Like That became a national hit, Suck MCs was in the streets of every state in America. It's Like That was damn near on every radio station in America, along with Suck MCs, but It's Like That was more of our commercial hit record across the board. So we started opening for Parliament Funkadelic, Marvin Gaye. Who else did we play shows with? ZZ Top, Confunction, the Gap Band. When we first dropped, 84, 85, we was opening for all of Cameo and all the funny joke is we started opening for all the soul and funk acts that our mothers and fathers were listening to. Mm-hmm. Because It's Like That was taking us everywhere where Grandmaster Flash is the message that took us. Our first concerts was, work in progress. And, it was never like we rehearsed a show. We just went on stage and did our records. And every night since 1983, when we first started doing shows, everything that was improvised was added to the show, which later developed into the show, the live show that Run DMC and Jam Master Jay was known for doing.
And you'll know John Corabi for several bands over the years, from The Scream, he was in The Union, the Eric Singer Project, he was a guitarist in Rat for a second. You remember that? He was Motley Crue's singer on their self-titled album, which is arguably their best musically, one of their ever. He was in Brides of Destruction with Nikki Sixx. He was the singer for the Dead Daisies as well.
My first concert was I grew up in Philadelphia, and it was Bachman-Turner Overdrive.
Okay. Awesome.
With a band called Wet Willie, and the very first band was Bob Seger.
Wow. Bob Seger opening up for BTO. Amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It had to be, man. Like, how old were you for that? Do you remember it, like, clear as day?
God, I don't. I was young.
Yeah.
I mean, back then it wasn't like, you know, I mean, it wasn't like I was 9 or 10, but I was, God, I was maybe 13. But it wasn't unusual back then to, you know, hey, I want to save up $6 and go see Bachman-Turner Overdrive.
Right.
And, you know, your parents would give you a note like, okay, you need to get on the elevated train and get off at this stop and then get the 75 bus that runs down here and then get off. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that unusual.
Musical guests of the Toddcast podcast are powered by Pineapple Sound, providing recording and mixing services for a wide range of artists and genres since 2013. Check them out at pineapplesound.com.
I feel like I made a big mistake.
Nude Vodka Soda powers the Toddcast podcast. Sugar and sweetener free with just 100 calories and 0 carbs per serving. Visit them online at nudebeverages.com.
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
You've heard Biff Naked on any good Canadian rock radio station since the mid-90s. And when her current drummer, Chico Misomali, joined the band, this is great because this dude throws down. He finds the pocket. He really is the backbone of the band, as any good drummer should be. He's a super nice guy as well. Lots of fun. He's admired by everyone that I've talked to in the music industry. He's the reason there's a pair of Vinnie Paul's drumsticks in the studio. And when Chico stopped by for a hang, we talked about how Kiss influenced him big time as a kid. Comic books came up. Deadpool, Thor, binge-watching Ozark and Ancient Alien, the Motley Crue movie, the music of Nat King Cole and Elvis Presley. He shared a near-death story about driving in Las Vegas. And stop me if you've heard this before. Chico talked about the Vancouver Canucks, how he's buddies with Brad May, and that he used to be a huge fan of the team.
Huge.
I lost it about 5 years ago.
I lost it Boston. Boston was Chicago series really kind of started to take it out of me.
Yeah.
With the Bruins and Canucks, I was just like, I didn't know how much more of that I could take. And
you know, I know, right?
It's like there's only so much you can punch yourself in the face until you go, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, man, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So now I don't even know who plays on the team. I had great friends who were Canucks. My friend Brad May.
Who, you know Brad. Okay.
I know Brad.
I know Brad as well, actually, yeah.
Oh, we went down
I don't
to
know
Anaheim
him well, but I know him.
When he got traded to Anaheim.
Okay.
My gal and I went down to Anaheim, and we hung around, and he drove us all over because he just got traded.
Okay.
So, after the games, we went up for dinner upstairs with the team.
Yeah.
At the duck pond or the arrow pond or whatever they call it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, for dinner. Then we went to a bar down
great,
in Newport and hung out. And
yeah, super nice guy.
And Brad said, you know what? I'm going to win the cup this year. I feel like things are going to I'm going to win the cup, and he won the cup that year.
No shit.
Yeah, so I'm taking full credit for that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, as you should. I don't know why you wouldn't. Man.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do.
Stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Puff, purveyors of quality cannabis accessories since 1995. Use promo code TODCAST and get 20% off all regularly priced accessories and apparel, in-store and online at puff.ca.
The touch of your towel.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Very nice. Do you remember a Vancouver band maybe about 10, maybe 12 years back now, I guess, called Stars of Boulevard? They had a few killer songs that Seafox was playing at the time, here and there. Their singer of that band, Josh Jones, is part of the band you just heard. So it's Trevor Kidd and Josh Jones, and their new song is called Salvation. Played you Brass Camel, and their song was Issues. I saw something on their Facebook wall, I guess 3 weeks back now. They are working on new music. They have an album release party coming up. It's planned, I guess, 10 days from now. March 25th. You can check them out at the Rickshaw Theater. Things are starting to come around. All right, coming up in just a few minutes in Listen to This, Dirty Heads singer Jared Watson shares some advice for up-and-coming bands. Definitely worthwhile checking it out. That is powered by Tedco RV Supplies out in Langley. It's RV service and repair, ICBC accredited. You can find them on Facebook and on Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. First, let's get back to more of these first concert stories and a handful of our past sporting guests. It's powered by Capit Chilliwack, providing the best quality products and services for you and your truck. Tules, tonneau covers, rooftop tents. I mean, these things are badass. Camping chairs, definitely grabbing a couple of those for the next trip to Tofino. There's step bars and floor liners, talking high quality aftermarket vehicle accessories. You can find them on facebook.com/Chilliwack Capit. And when you originally heard Alex Newhook on the podcast, he was playing for the Victoria Grizzlies of the BCHL. He was their captain. Now, of course, Alex plays in the NHL for the Colorado Avalanche.
First concert was a rap concert in Toronto. I went with my buddy.
Okay.
It was The Weeknd. It was a really good concert.
Oh, okay. Yeah, The Weeknd had a huge song. Was it last summer or the summer before?
Yeah.
What was it? I Can't Feel My Face?
Yeah,
I can't feel my face when I'm with you. That's a great song.
Yeah.
NFL defensive end Christian Covington was born here in Vancouver. He's a local kid. He's crushing it. You could say that football is in his blood. His dad, Grover Covington, played in the CFL. He's a member of the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. Christian's been playing in the NFL since 2015, drafted in the 6th round. He played with the Texans, the Cowboys, the Broncos, the Bengals, currently playing with the LA Chargers. Check out what Christian said for his first concert experience.
I think it was honestly the Weeknd.
The Weeknd? Wow.
Yeah, I saw The Weeknd, but it was literally like in 2017.
No, really?
It was the year that it was the year I tore my bicep.
Wow.
I had some free time. I remember I had some free time and we had an away game. I think it was like literally, I think I was like up 2 months into rehab. So I was like obviously out of my sling and stuff like that. And one of my former team nutritionist on the Texans, he hit me up and he was just like, "Hey bro, I know you're in town. Do you want to go see The Weeknd do you want to go see The Weeknd tonight?" And I'm just like, "You got tickets?" He's like, "Yeah." "Oh yeah, let's go."
Nice. Nice.
So yeah, I think that was my first ever concert.
Huh. Interesting. And only a couple of years ago.
Only a couple of years ago.
If you were like me and semi-glued to the Tokyo Olympics, perhaps you saw Evan Dunphy become an Olympic medalist. He placed 3rd, got a bronze, in the 50K race walk. Listen to Evan's first concert.
I was pretty late to the game. It was a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert in 2010. My mom's company had box seats and she was kind enough to lend them to 3 of my 20-year-old friends. And
nice.
Yeah, we didn't get invited back.
Geez, that was probably a fun night then.
I'm sure it probably was.
You're like, I think I remember it being fun.
Yeah.
And staying with the Olympics, Canadian-American bobsledder Kaylee Humphries won gold for Canada in the 2010 and 2014 Winter Olympics. She won bronze in 2018. And this year, racing in the monobob event, she won gold for America. If you're going like, what? Gold for Canada and the States? Yeah, she switched to represent the U.S. at the Olympics because of alleged abuse and harassment that she'd faced from the Canadian Bobsled Federation. Listen to Kaylee talk about her first concert.
Garth Brooks, and to date, my only concert that I've ever been to. So I've seen him 3 times, and Garth Brooks is my all-time favorite ever. and he's the only artist that I've seen, but I've gone to his concert 3 times.
Toddcast sporting guest visits are powered by Capit Chilliwack, providing the best quality products and services for you and your truck. Online at facebook.com/ChilliwackCapit.
If it's all the time that you need, baby, I will stand here out of mind. Thoughts in a million unhealthy places, but my heart stays in the same. Lost on you, trying to get well. It ain't fair, it ain't right. All these things you're doing to my mind. How's it so easy for you? You tell me you need me, and turn around and leave me high and dry. How's it so easy for you to lie? Keep that in mind for the next time. There's a chair and it sits on your shoulder. I'm not trying to brush it off this time, I swear. You see, these days they've been so fucking hazy. Like all the love I thought we made was true, well, I guess it wasn't true at all. It ain't fair, it ain't right. All these things you're doing to my mind. How's it so easy for you to lie? You tell me you need me, and turn around and leave me high and dry. How's it so easy for you to lie? You say that you're lonely, even though you got me by your side. How's it so easy for you to lie? Keep that in mind for the next time. It ain't fair, it ain't right. All these things you're doing to my mind. How's it so easy for you to lie? Tell me you need me, and turn around and leave me high and dry. How's it so easy for you to lie? You say that you're lonely, even though you got me by your side. How's it so easy for you to lie? How's it so easy for you to lie? Keep that in mind for the next time. Oh, the next time. Keep that in mind for the next time. Yeah. Oh, the next time.
The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca. And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
You have heard from the band Dirty Heads since 2008 when they released their debut Any Port in a Storm. American reggae rock, Huntington Beach, California. You know, as a fan, it kind of feels like they've been touring and releasing records non-stop since they came out into the scene. They've had #1 albums. They show no signs of slowing down. And when Dirty Head singer Jared Watson called up to be a guest of the podcast, we talked about his first concert, the music that he grew up around, getting Kaimani Marley on one of their songs. We got into comic books, Marvel and DC. He shared a near-death story, the shows that he was binge-watching. And Jared shared some advice for up-and-coming bands. Listen to this.
It isn't rocket science. If your music is good and your live show is good, it's not hard to really, it's not, just go play as many fucking shows you can. Just go tour, because those fans will be with you for a very long time.
Right.
Are you going to blow up overnight? No. You know, and that's the thing, is not a lot of people are willing to sacrifice, you know, a good 5 to 10 years of their life playing in front of, you know, nobody, and slowly growing it and making those relationships with those fans. And, you know, like, it's having longevity, or would you rather, you know, blow up overnight and be big for a year or two and then be irrelevant, or continue to grow over a 15, 20-year career, you know?
Yeah.
So I attribute it to attitude, everybody's attitude in the band, you know, just trying to be as positive as you can and respectful as you can, even when it's hard and, you know, you're bummed, or you've been out on the road for 3 months, or, you know, the show sucked, or the label dropped you, or, you know, it's peaks and valleys. Yeah, I think having good dudes in the band and guys that we get along with, and then touring, I think those are the two strongest things.
Listen to This on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC-approved repair shop. Find them online at TedcoRVSuppliesInc.com.
It's almost like you got to be licking your fingers. Like, that's finger licking good rock. The band is called The Post-War, and a new song called Exile. That's from their recently released self-titled new album. Killer band. Have always dug these guys. They've always had a really big sound. Perhaps we can get them doing a podcast show if we can get something going once again. I mean, everything that they've given me over the years is always solid. You heard Spendo and a new song for them as well. In fact, the first spin anywhere on planet Earth. A world premiere. Great song for those guys called Easy to Lie. And here's another, brilliant example of a killer live band here in Vancouver. Our scene is alive and well as we patiently wait for COVID to kind of take a hike. Things are opening up again. Of course, people are getting out there dancing. Dancing? What? Drinking? If you hear of Spendo playing near you, try to be at that show. Speaking of live music, you can find a list of, well, a small list anyway, of Vancouver and area shows with the indie scene at toddhancock.ca. If you're playing one, or if you're going to one, let us know about it. We'll post it up at the website. That's brought to you by Mystic Rhythms Rehearsal Studios. 40 plus years experience in the music industry. We are talking great jam spaces. Find out more about them at mysticrhythms.ca. Okay, our final guests of episode 269. Excellent, 269. First concert experiences and some of our past entertainment guests. It's brought to you by Sacred Meds, the best craft cannabis and psilocybin dispensary in Canada. If you use the code TODCAST, 20% off your order. How about that? Went from 10 to 20. Check them out through sacredmeds.com. Maybe it's because this is their final month of sponsoring. So use that code before it goes away. If you've been following and listening, I guess, over the years, you've no doubt heard me talking about my time at CFOX doing the afternoon show. I did it for 12 years. I was there for 15. The Rock Report, the 6 o'clock Rock Report, people still talk to me about that show. It is the foundation of who I am as a broadcaster today. And one of my partners in crime over the years was Danger, Darren Grieve. You can hear him now, present day, on City News Vancouver, 96.9 Jack FM, 101.1 Whistler FM. And if you know Danger at all, you will not be surprised at who his first concert was.
10 years old, Kiss in 1979, Dynasty Tour.
Wow.
I bugged
who
my
took
dad.
you to that?
My dad. I was 10, man.
That is badass.
My best friend at the time, Dave White, we're still buddies. He was a equal Kiss freak. We're pretty much friends because of Kiss, actually.
Yeah.
My dad.
So what other been like Destroyer or what?
No, Dynasty.
Dynasty
Tour.
Okay.
Yeah.
The silver color or cover.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all that?
With I Was Made for Loving You, so they were on their way down.
The disco phase.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it was still the original band, and we went and saw the show. My dad, myself, and then my buddy Dave White and his sister Wendy. And Wendy was like a hippie chick, had an old biker boyfriend, really cool chick. But she goes to my dad's my dad, and my dad's a really cool dude. But Wendy was a partier, right? So she goes to a concert. Brings doobies, the whole. She gets taken inside, strip search, the whole 9 yards, and my dad's now mad and he's embarrassed, and we're kids, right? We're just little kids, and she got taken inside and everything else. But we watched the show. I had to bug him for weeks to get those tickets. Weeks. He finally caved. We were at Woodward's in Guildford.
79. So where did you see him?
Coliseum. Yeah, Loverboy opened up, and they only lasted.
Loverboy.
And they only lasted like 3 or 4 songs. They were getting so many boos.
Really?
That they actually cut her short.
You'll likely know Danielle Ruiz for a few reasons. Now, she's been in Fredericks of Hollywood ads, Hustler Apparel. Back in the day, she was featured in Maxim. Remember that magazine? Love that rag. Or maybe it's from being Hawaiian Tropics Miss Brazil 2010. She's been a Monster Energy Dime Squad girl, a host and Royal Flush girl in the World Poker Tour. You've seen her on the small screen, Cougar Town, CSI, Entourage, Friends with Benefits.
Rod Stewart.
Rod
and I lived in
Stewart. Fantastic.
He's my favorite, and I need to go see him in Vegas. Yes, I lived in his shirt for literally 12 years until literally, like, it disintegrated. I fucking love Rod Stewart. I wish him happy birthday every single day on Twitter.
That is
I don't know how else to get him.
Good. I love
Yeah,
this.
that's my very first concert.
And how old were you? And what do you specifically remember about the show?
Well, I was 7, and I just remember, like, because I used to listen to, like, when I was little, I'm pretty sure I was, like, 7 years old. I had to be, 7. 6 or 7 or something. But I just remember it so distinctly. It was at Hollywood Bowl. And I just remember standing on top of, like, the bench thing or whatever and just, like, jamming out.
That is awesome. We had on Dr. Brooke Goldner a few years ago. Now, she's written 3 best-selling books, Goodbye Lupus, Goodbye Autoimmune Disease, and Green Smoothie Recipes to Kickstart Your Health and Healing. You've seen her in documentaries like Eating You Alive, Whitewashed, The Conspiracy Against Your Health. She's been on the cover of Vegan Health and Fitness magazine 3 times, the cover of Fit Over 40. Dr. Goldner is known worldwide for developing a nutrition-based treatment for her own autoimmune disease, lupus. Listen to Dr. Goldner's first concert experience.
Pink Floyd Division Bell.
Pink Floyd. Wow. What a bar to set.
Yeah, and actually it was with my dad, and my dad had gotten tickets through his business at the time, and I was so excited. And it was funny because the one song I really wanted to hear was to hear them sing The Wall, and my dad, finally hit midnight, and it was a full night. My dad was like, we gotta go. And right as we walked into the parking lot, he started singing it, and he let me sit in the parking lot and listen to it. And then got me my tie-dye T-shirt, which I wore all the way through. Gosh, that T-shirt I wore till it had holes in it in my 20s. But the funniest part was the next day I did go to school, but I was a bit late. And when I handed them my note, the person that took my note said, next time you want to pretend you're sick in the morning, don't wear your concert T-shirt to school.
Oh, that's so good. Love it. I love it. And you'll know actress Kristen Renton for a couple key roles. She played the recurring role of Ima Tite on Sons of Anarchy. She was Morgan Hollingsworth on Days of Our Lives, but you've seen her in like Anger Management with Charlie Sheen, CSI New York, The OC, The Glades. She started off modeling and then got into acting later on.
The Monkees.
Come on, seriously, the Monkees? How old are you?
Oh, yeah. I was obsessed with the Monkees when I was younger. Absolutely. Monkees, Beach Boys. Oh, yeah, I grew up on that music.
That's amazing.
When everybody else was listening to, like, 80s, New Kids on the Block, I'm like, no, screw your New Kids on the Block. I'm going to go to the Monkees. Yeah, absolutely. The original boy band.
Do you still see many shows or just too busy?
I haven't been to a concert in a while. I may be going to one tonight. I'm not sure, but it's been a while. I can't. I travel so much, and I'm always so busy. It's hard for me to purchase tickets for something, and then I end up leaving or having to be out of town or having a charity event going on. So I don't get to nearly as many as I would like to. I absolutely have to see Adele at some point.
Toddcast Podcast entertainment guest visits are powered by Sacred Meds, the best craft cannabis and psilocybin dispensary in Canada. Available online at sacredmeds.com. Use promo code TODCAST at checkout for 10% off everything in store.
Silence! On the shipwreck, there wasn't much skin left to cover my bones. I feel the eyes of the beachhead watch me try to put some air in my lungs. And I heard the siren song in the distance, but I got up to run. The smile I'm trying to distinguish would take me out.
Oh, yeah. Figured I'd wrap up the podcast Melting Your Face Off with Arlo Wells and a banger for those guys called Siren. You got to think they're one of Vancouver's best for the genre. Every single song they've given us to play is simply outstanding. Arlo Wells, Siren. And with that, let's wrap up this episode 269, all about First Concerts this week. We love putting these together and hope you like them as well, which apparently you do, because these themed podcasts, whether it's near-death stories or superpowers or First Concerts or whatever we do, they generally get 15, 20, maybe 25% more play than our regular weekly podcasts, which makes geez, maybe we should just do themed podcasts, from now on. Anyway, my name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, please tell all your friends. If not, tell me, and I'll fire everybody on staff. Well, not everybody. I probably should keep myself around. Which, hold on a second. I'm the janitor. I'm the producer. I'm the interviewer. I'm the host. So please tell your friends about this podcast. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. We're on YouTube as well. All the interviews, all the full interviews, we post them up on our YouTube page. Comment and rate the podcast as well. You can search it out through, what else? Toddcast Podcast. Huge thanks to all of our excellent sponsors. You can find links to all sponsor websites at toddhancock.ca. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast, you can for as little as $10 a day. Contact info is at the homepage. Maybe we'll have a beer, have a coffee, see what's up. And if you help us find a sponsor, we'll give you a commission based on that ad buy. If you know a business that should sponsor us, let them know, and we'll take it from there. Till next week, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard, and most of all, believe in yourself.
The Toddcast Podcast. Keep in touch with Todd through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and bookmark toddhancock.ca.
GZM Shows and the creators of 6 Minutes are rolling out their newest audio adventure with the podcast Discovering Dad. A cautious single dad with a secret past and his rebellious kids embark on a thrilling quest complete with hidden treasure, villains, and a family curse. New episodes of Discovering Dad roll out weekly starting June 11th on Apple Podcasts. Follow the show so you never miss an episode, or listen early and ad-free as a GZM Shows subscriber. Go to gzmshows.com to learn more.
Hi, I'm Alexis Ohanian. You may know me as one of the co-founders of Reddit, but more recently, a large part of my identity is being a father to my 2 wonderful daughters. In my podcast, Business Dad, I'm hoping to open up the conversation about balancing careers and family. The one thing I constantly hear successful people say, without fail, is that they wish they'd spent more time with their kids. That's time no one can get back. So I decided to create Business Dad, to engage in the conversation about how we're spending our time now, providing a forum for successful dads to share their joys and challenges of being a working parent. You'll get to hear from a wide range of business dads, from Rainn Wilson and Guy Raz to Todd Carmichael and Shane Battier. And while this podcast will talk about business and will definitely be featuring dads, I think everyone can learn something from these incredible conversations as we unpack the expectations we all have about careers, relationships, and ourselves. Business Dad is available now, so be sure to listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.